Our ancestors built the first city as a beacon of peace on Earth. And it almost was. Until one night, an unseen force plucked it from the very face of the Earth and placed it under unfamiliar stars. It was a bountiful world with no sign of civilization. A world we named Paragon. With no way to return home, we adapted. New governments were built from the seeds of our past, and with them grew new ways of life. But the vices of old still festered. Organized crime bled out from the shadows and took root, preying on the foundation of our new home. But this world had one more surprise in store. A mysterious element in the atmosphere that gave a fraction of the population superhuman abilities. Under the leadership of the city's first hero, the Age of Legends had begun. 300 years later, Paragon thrives under the protection of its champions. And yet, the shadows of the past still linger. When darkness rises, it will fall to the next generation of young heroes to defend the first city. Welcome to The First City, the show that is brought to you by the letter F for friendship, and also First City.
And failure.
Wow.
Mostly the first two things.
I don't know. The last couple episodes.
Oh, no. Perfectly triumphant. I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll say there's been hills and valleys.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. Or peaks and valleys, rather.
Peaks, hills, those interchangeable concepts. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, how about a little bit of previously on The First City?
I hate that.
See, that's funny because in real life, Ian hates ASMR.
We've made
and you just did it to everyone.
I did do that. And I almost apologize in the form of a summary. So after Jeremy's very public display, while the rest of Team Pantheon was engaged with their meeting with the Silencer, now dubbed by BB Constance. As you watched retroactive footage of Jeremy attempting to flee through the sewers, little did he know that the government's own super team, the Arbiters, were waiting in the wings just for such an occurrence. And the most quick, very dexterous, agility-based hero, Black Bullet, catapulted herself using her power after you, Jeremy, and was able to catch up, enough to slow you down so that another Arbiter named Tin Man, who wears a mech suit, was able to catch up to you as well. And as Tin Man was shooting out a stasis field to try and keep you in place, to slow you down, Pantheon zoomed in and got caught in that stasis field long enough to be seen, right before she scooped you up and flew away, sending the First City into a bit of a frenzy. Protesters on either sides of the Jeremy issue and of the "there are snakes in the government's grass" issue gathered around the outside of Moonlight Academy as you were implored by Fortress to use only the hidden entrances and exits of the school. And as you finally arrived, meeting back up with Jeremy back into Fortress's office, you met up with not only Detective Asher, who has now been appointed the new director of First City's AID division, the Allied Investigations Division. Now that Albert Rose, the previous director, has proven himself to be in violation of a very important act that is here to protect the identity of heroes like Jeremy, even heroes in training. Having violated that, he is now in custody, and a plan was formed to sort of ease the public's mind somewhat.
And you have now been given, in your mind, a day to figure out how and where you want to have this conference to give your sort of testimony to the public via Detective Asher, probably with cameras, but those details are still forthcoming. And as you all gathered in the evening for an emergency assembly with Fortress and all of your team leaders, you are all told that you've demonstrated great courage and that you will be awarded with your hero licenses, even though the semester is now going to be cut short somewhat. You are all told that you are able to stay on campus, that you will be protected to the best of their ability. However, if you choose to leave to go home until this all blows over, you're welcome to do that, and you will still end up getting your license and be allowed to come back when things are safer. After this speech, all of the champions program gathered on stage with their mentors, with their team leaders and fellow teammates, and demonstrated together that no matter what happens, you are together. This class is staying here, no matter the weather.
We're all in this together.
We pick up shortly thereafter as the teams are beginning to trickle out of the assembly for the night. You guys are starting to sort of gather outside under moonlight, filtered through this vaguely shimmering force field dome that's covering the campus right now. You look back and you see that Pantheon is still inside. She implored you guys to go wait for her. And she looks like she might be on the phone. And really only Fortress and Dr. Quickstep are kind of nearby, keeping their distance from everyone else. So you guys are kind of waiting around. You see some people trickling off, some people are hanging around. Porter and Echo actually approach you guys first. And Porter is all smiles.
So we have licenses now?
Well, I mean, I sort of took that as more of an assurance that we're going to get them.
Fair.
I mean, we have to get the physical thing,
Yeah.
Not, ready yet. But that's that's a heck of a thing, guys.
If you had told me this morning that this is how our day was going to end, I probably would have said, that's unrealistic, but maybe. But here we are.
I guess it's been a long day for everybody. Kind of seems like mostly you guys, though.
Hey, we're the house of long days.
That's kind of catchy. I feel like maybe I should be less cheerful in the face of mounting tension. And he looks over at Echo, and she's just just the most sort of expression.
I feel like that's kind of one of your superpowers.
Huh. Never really thought about it that way. Maybe it is.
Anyways, yeah, I think, how are we all doing? I think we're doing fine for the given circumstance. Phoebe looks around at her team.
I think Caramone is leaned up against one of the statues.
Mhm.
Yes. And just has a little data pad out with little hologram of text and is just going line by line through whatever this piece of text is while they wait. So I'm not even really paying attention to anything that's happening. Just brr, 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 looking through, scrolling, looking through, scrolling, looking through.
What piece of text specifically?
Oh, the mission debrief for this whole shit for them.
BP will look at them and say, like, you reading something good?
Good? No. Important? Yes.
Fair enough.
Echo goes, well, a lot of that going around, I guess.
Very true. Jeremy, how you doing?
Well, I realized that I don't really know that many of the Arbiter's powers, so that's something.
Oh, I know a lot about their powers. If you ever want to like go over them, we can.
I really think that I should, seeing as how that I may have to split the scene soon.
Yeah.
Did you really
But-
get your ass tackled by Black Bullet?
Yes, and then I set her on fire, so
I'm surprised she even managed to catch up with you.
it really isn't that I'm not very fast on my feet.
Yeah, well, she's not very real. So
Got her. What does that mean?
Porter starts shaking his head and he's like, you don't want to get her started on this. And Echo goes, that fucking poser bitch.
Whoa.
That's a lot of aggression and language that you
Yeah.
just
Did she
used.
like kill your dog or something? Like what?
I don't know. Maybe I'm a little too cynical, but I feel like a bunch of perfectly curated, attractive young adults with a license to do pretty much whatever they want as long as they have orders to do so. I don't really buy them as role models for the next generation of kids, of heroes, powers, no powers, whatever you want to call it. This whole vibe that they have, they're curating personality types like they're story tropes to be consumed and emulated, and it's wrong. I don't believe for 1 second that any of them are that pristine and perfect. I don't believe that Shield Maiden is this incredible media darling who's never done anything wrong in her life. I don't believe that Megamax is the most ethical, perfect, plant-based man in the world. And I don't believe that
Plant Man.
Black Bullet is this hard-edged, tough, angsty, cool, troubled. I just think that that image is hurtful to people who have actually been through things, people who actually let's just say the emulation of things that you love, attitudes, styles, even just clothes and accessories. We have a long history of that meaning things to people. People who socially may need a little help getting there, making connections. To be shown someone who's doing that and knowing that it's all just fake and for publicity, it's never going to sit right with me. You don't have to agree. That's fine.
Well, I guess my only question would be, have you ever met them? Have you ever put that belief to the test? You know? That's the only way to know. In my opinion, you're just being mad at nothing. Not nothing, but like you're talking with certainty that you cannot have right now. Speaking of, though, thank you for reminding me. And Harmon swipes down the text and sends, opens their message app and sends a text to Pantheon and is like, need to get in a room with the arbiters anyway, anyhow, very soon. Please. Thank you.
I met the arbiters like once or twice. I was supposed to kind of maybe be an arbiter when I was with my mom. And like echo what you're saying, they're not perfect. They're really not what they appear on TV. But they're not the worst people. They're just in the situation they're in. It doesn't excuse anything they do wrong that is hidden from the public. But and I, BB kind of looks at like her BB belt buckle and the little cowboy accent she has on her outfit, and she's like, I get what you mean about like identity and how we show it through our clothes. And I don't think you're wrong to be mad when people do it for no reason. But again, like Cameron said, we don't know that they're doing it for no reason. They still look pretty silly in their outfits on TV, though.
Porter takes a very long, deep breath, and he looks back at Echo and he goes, I mean, they don't hero like us, but I think they're trying to help at least. Echo just kind of like, just sort of chewing the inside of her mouth. And there's that weird sort of tension for a second before Pantheon is in view. She's finally like stepping up to you guys. She's hanging up her phone, putting it away. And Porter turns back to you guys and he goes, we'll leave you to it. I don't know if you guys saw, but the president is putting out a State of the Union address in the morning. If you guys don't want to deal with that alone, you're welcome to come over for breakfast. We don't even have to watch it, honestly. We can just, if you're free.
I completely forgot we had a president.
Yeah.
I'll swing by.
Cool. See you guys then. And then it seems like he needs to sort of help Echo come back from wherever she went a little bit. He just barely brushes her knuckles with his. And she comes back to and she nods and gives a controlled little smile to you guys. Nods ever so slightly, and the two of them walk away.
So what were you talking to on the phone about?
Pantheon just scratches up at the top of her jaw. She goes, that was actually, I keep wanting to say Detective Asher. That was Director Asher. She was telling me that she was able to buy us another day, essentially. Really buy Jeremy another day to kind of figure out how you want to play this. You should know, wherever you choose to do this, to give her your testimony publicly, Alma is insisting on a neutral third party. Now, while it does seem like, in light of recent events, Asher is being treated with a certain amount of, shall we say, reparation, she still has a certain stake in the outcome. And there are no illusions about that. Her being there is doing her job, but they want someone else there, someone to reassure the public somewhat. And it seems like that someone is going to be Jack Lopez of FCN, First City News Network.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the man personally. He's fine. He's a good reporter.
Is it going to be like he interviews Jeremy?
I think he'll almost certainly have questions of his own. I mean, he's known for that, being a reporter. But I think you'll still be able to answer. I don't think. No, I know. You don't have to answer anything you don't want to. And Director Asher assures me that she will be in control of the situation. I mean, who has the authority, right? The director of AID or a news reporter. So any questions that she deems inappropriate, I'm feeling pretty confident that she's on your side here, Jeremy. She won't let it get out of hand.
Thinking of a witty joke. Give me a second.
Understandable.
I got nothing. So what's the rest of your guys' night looking like?
Approaching like 9 p.m.
Hanging out with you?
Yeah, no, probably not actually for me,
Fair
but
Silhouette does go like, oh, no, I was about to say good one, but we don't have to all hang out, but I will.
I will.
Anybody want to help me how to defuse an entire city from descending into civil war?
Let's do it. That's what teammates are for.
Teammates, and he'll put his hand in like a middle.
On some Power Ranger shit, hell yeah. Maybe we'll do the same.
Pantheon goes, you do have all of tomorrow to sort this out. I say all of tomorrow, like that's a significant enough time for any of this. But if you do want to rest tonight, figure this out tomorrow, might be the smarter call. But what do I know? The semester's over, right? Officially, I can't really teach you anything anymore. I'm joking and lying. I'm gonna still teach you things if you want.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, it's up to you. If you don't think you're gonna be able to sleep tonight, we can work, but we can also wait till tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll just take like a melatonin or something, a space melatonin.
Space melatonin, future melatonin. God, that's so good. All right, until tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
is Fortress still around? She's still floating around?
Yeah, she's.
Maybe
It
literally.
looks like she's gonna leave pretty soon. She's trying to be the last one there, but she's people who are choosing to sort of hang around out here. This is sort of becoming almost like a little weird little chill out party, like outside, where people are just sort of gathering in little pockets, discussing like what just happened between team members. And Fortress looks like she's kind of making the rounds, just seeing that everyone's cool. So you can catch up to her without issue.
I turn to Pantheon and I go do a little whoop. Come here. Just
Sure, yeah.
and I grab her by the arm,
Mhm.
Expecting her to separate off one of herself. And I ask her, did you just look at your phone? Did you read what I just sent you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can ask, but that's especially after today. I don't really know that I can just do that. I mean, first of all, I don't have the authority, period. But now I've interfered in something.
Right. I'll just give you the context why really fast. And then I swing around to Fortress. I'm like, you got 1 minute? Just one. Please.
She's like eyebrow comes up. Yeah. Yes, of course. What's wrong?
And then I take them to a corner and I unload everything that just happened to me in the day.
So you just bring them back inside,
Yeah.
and both of them assume a triangular sort of like Dorito of listening, and they cross their arms and they're both nodding along. When you reach the end of the story, they look at each other, and Fortress goes, well, I suppose it makes sense that you wouldn't be the only one. But they're not telling you that is a bit strange, at least from what you've explained to me before. Obviously, if this is a delicate situation, and I won't stand in the way of your knowledge of what would be best for your people here and for you. But I will say this. You will be welcome here as long as you want to be here. If you're called home and you don't want to go, well, we have some experience protecting people who need asylum or want it.
Well, here's the pickle. If I'm called home and I don't go home, when I do finally want to go home, I won't be allowed back in. So I just like don't really have any choice. Also, like the idea that this is like it forever. Ooh, don't like that one bit. But if there's any way to weasel an excuse to talk to the arbiters or any other government heroes for that matter, it wouldn't be the most organic thing, I would imagine, but I think it would be helpful. Aditya is very cynical, more cynical than I was when I got here, which is saying a lot. So just anything to really help the situation would be great on your part. But if you think there's nothing you can do, that's also great, because I feel like you guys have shown your vibe, morals, ethics as much as you have and could. So there's nothing really more for me to report on here, which is why I'm asking this of you. But
Well, in a long chain of unfortunate timing, our status at the moment being what it is, the strange state of flux, to simply call up Alma, really, and arrange a meeting. I can't imagine anyone agreeing to that at this juncture. In my opinion, if I do say so, my rather educated opinion, solving this problem, relieving this tension, lies at the heart of everything. If the Kosari are threatening to shut off all potential roads that may open up between us simply because of this series of events, I almost said series of unfortunate events, because of these events that are unfolding around us, then we need to do the same thing that we were already planning to do. Show the world that we are still willing and ready to protect them, to help them, guide them if we can. We need to solve this. And I promise you, you will not be left out of it anymore. As much as that pains me to say. Because I am loath to cause you any more harm.
Since when did you cause any?
She looks to Pantheon. She looks like she's going to start saying something else. And Pantheon is like, something very much hardens in that moment in her direction. And Fortress stops whatever she was going to say. I simply don't believe you should be kept from things that affect you anymore. And I regret having done so already. Regardless, I do hope that one day I'll be able to speak to the others who are here. But if you don't even know who they are or how to reach them, then
I only know of one, but there could be 5, there could be 100. I have no idea. I mean, good news is he told me that they like what I'm doing, but that in the context of everything else, that means almost nothing. So, okay. I wasn't expecting anything. It is a big ask. But I don't know. They've just sort of been on the mind lately. So I thought I'd try. And I'll just go lay face down in a puddle, I think, after today.
Selena, and she reaches out a hand to you, sort of low, not taking it, but like, may I? She says, it is a very strong sign of a real hero to feel as though they need to save the entire world every time they save one person or just a few people. It means you understand that the whole world is contained in all of us. For better or worse, good or bad, whatever our choices, all of us are here together in one way or another. Not to sound like some holiday card, but to find out, in fact, that the scope of your mission, your responsibility, is not all of this whole city skyline. I would encourage you to try to find some relief in that. If there's one thing that I would love to see firsthand of your people, is their connectivity with each other. To find out that this thing that you're doing is carried by others as well, that's somewhat a blessing.
I don't want to make it seem like I'm not taking any of this seriously or taking this conversation not as seriously as I should. It's just, I really don't want to go is the thing. Like, I love my home. I want to be in my home forever. I don't want to fully expat switch over, right? But like, the people here are great. and they've taught me a lot and shown me that I need to work on myself in ways that people at home have never been able to get through. This thick head of mine, and I don't know, I guess now I'm in a space of like, well, was all this for nothing? And it's like, it's not, because again, the relationships I made are worth a lot, but still, I don't know. I will think about what you just said. And thank you.
Haramon, if you want to feel your way through this, you need to. But if you don't want to go, then help us fight for the truth and for the people here. That's what we do now.
Question is, can we do it in 2-ish weeks' time? Because then I won't be here to help you fight. But, if there's anything I can do, just tell me.
Pantheon then pipes up and goes, well, for now, I think the best thing that we can do is help Jeremy. There's a lot riding on this meeting, whatever this is going to be. I don't hold against him what happened. Trust me, I've done worse. Not one of us has been through what he has. So, let's make sure that he feels right with what he wants to say. That's what we can do now. Or it's what we can do in a few hours after good, hard sleeping.
Mm-hmm. That does sound really good right now. Not gonna lie.
Realize how many things happened today, like individual things have occurred.
I am constantly aware of it all the time.
Yeah.
And that is the way I am. I'm glad we understand this. So yeah, I just wanted to tell you that information because I felt it was pertinent. Is that the word? Yes, pertinent. But if it's all you got for me, it's all I got for you. So I will go do that sleeping we just talked about.
Dream well. Pantheon starts to usher you away back to the rest of the group. You guys start to make your way back home. Does anything else happen this night for you guys?
Can I talk to Jeremy as we're walking?
Mhm.
Maybe it's like Haramon, Silhouette, Pantheon, and then Jeremy and I right behind. I'm like, maybe that stunt was poorly advised, I guess, but it looked super, super, super cool.
At least that went right.
And you got to fight an arbiter, which is more than I've gotten to do. So I don't know. We'll figure it all out. I have no doubt.
Thanks, BB. I can always count on you.
Hell yeah. Then we just keep walking through the quiet quad as people mill about us.
And as you start making, you arrive back home, Silhouette finally decides she wants to add something here. And she goes, well, the way I see it, we've been chasing after like breadcrumbs for so long. And like we have more bread now? Is that a good
Oh
metaphor?
my god.
I don't even know. But like,
Yeah.
you know, I
We've
mean,
glued all of the bread pieces together enough to make a bread bowl.
what Rose did, he was gonna do. Whether you knew that or not, you just sort of put it in your hands first. That's pretty cool.
Oh shit, I should totally say that I knew that he was gonna do that. Wouldn't that sound like hella big brain for my whole speech thing?
Mhm.
Testimonial, please don't kill me thing.
Yeah, I mean that's like a thought, right? Unless they take a psychic to you, you can just say that, which is entirely possible with this new law, though, unfortunately. So maybe we should not lie.
I'm a little bit like last time a psychic tried to get in my head, I managed to keep her out. And that psychic was Fortress, so maybe I'm just cracked with the psychics.
Well,
Got the psychic shield.
she's not technically a psychic, but it's fine. Okay.
And the law hasn't gone public for a vote yet anyway. So, you know,
But it could.
They'd have to get close
not
enough
in
to
2
do it.
days.
But they could retroactively be like, hey, was he lying when he said this?
Oh, sure. Yeah, totally. But they can't do it like now during the thing.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, but speaking of being like, I totally knew, I totally fucking knew that y'all should have been more careful during the Decker fight, and that's all I'm gonna say.
Fair enough.
Okay, in my defense there, never once during my time at the PDP had I shown that I was able to cloak myself in fire. I kept that one in my back pocket.
Respect.
I mean, you know, we could go back and forth on who was wreathed in fire and who put jelly beans where. Ultimately, I don't think it's productive anymore, and maybe we should just go to sleep. I would love that.
I would also love that. And baby starts inching towards her room. Just sidling. We'll figure it all out tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I
love
love
you.
you.
Tomorrow.
And the whole Team Pantheon house breaks into a just rendition of I Love You Tomorrow, whatever that song is called.
Is that from Annie?
Yeah.
Yeah. Future Annie.
Future
Annie
And
is
Deadpool, too.
Monarch.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
How would she say it?
Say what?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Tomorrow.
She sounds like
I
the
love
Who.
ya tomorrow.
Eric went on Michael Caine.
Mark the way.
Listen, you got to go Michael Caine
I
sometimes.
love you tomorrow, marked away. I love you roughly the size of a tangerine.
You can tell me if this is too much or if this is something that he wouldn't want to do, but I would love to see if the last shot of Haremon is actually of Riley climbing into bed with them. We can cycle out until one of their friends works.
It's emotionally charged for sure. But if nothing like happens, then yeah, he would do that.
Yeah. Just to be like, help me.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah. So the next morning, you guys all get ready to head over to have a nice breakfast at Team Fulcrum. House Fulcrum. Team Fulcrum House. You make your way over there, and Porter answers the door. And as you step into the living room, you see Link is not here. You do know that Link did go home because, you know,
And
with
then-
everyone having the option to go home, the literal child did need to go home.
Checks out.
Yeah.
Time out.
But you do notice that Troubleshooter is actually here, like in a tank top with I think she's got like a tall glass of orange juice, and she's got her feet up on the table, and she's sitting on the couch next to Echo, just waiting for breakfast to be ready as Porter is cooking in the kitchen. He like answers the door and then goes back to the kitchen. Troubleshooter raises her orange juice glass to you.
Hey, you're also here.
Oh my god.
I mean, I have been known to eat breakfast from time to time.
I just didn't realize it was with other people.
Well, Echo goes, to be fair, it's mostly just me. Everyone else hates you.
Whoa.
And Troubleshooter laughs her ass off.
Gals being pals.
Hate is a strong word. I just think she's a huge cunt, but you know.
Damn. Got her. I'll go sit next to Troubleshooter.
Mhm.
And so they're just like sitting watching TV.
Yeah.
sorry.
They're ooh, yeah, what are they doing?
Playing
The
Uno,
State of
just
the
between the
Union
two of
address
them.
is not coming on for another. I don't know. How early, like before that happens, do you guys want to be there?
If that would come on at 10, maybe we'd come at like 9:15, 9:30.
That works. So there's still another half hour ish. So they're probably just watching like random stuff. Whatever that might be.
Oh, I also love Benny the Bronco. That's one of my favorite cartoons growing up.
Yeah, that's 100% the thing that we're watching. I
Mhm,
agree with
mhm.
everything you just said in character.
This is all collectively something we know
Yep.
as a shared cultural moment. And this is lore.
You do notice though, Troubleshooter is fully like, she's reclined, she's comfortable. It seems like,
Hat off.
yeah,
Whoa.
yeah, hat off. And like tattoo out. She doesn't hide it the way Helix does his.
Mhm.
And she just seems like she's, you know, you've seen her hang out with Echo before. You know that they're friends, but you haven't really
Yeah.
seen them like really in a casual environment together before. So you're starting to, you know, see this pretty different side of her that you've been experiencing as you've gotten to just know her more. Something a little bit softer.
Nice. I'll turn to Echo really quick and I'll be like, and this is fully over Troubleshooter, but like hand like this. So do you have any funny stories about Troubleshooter that I should know? Because I think you guys have hung out more.
Funny stories. Like funny haha or like funny violent?
I feel like the second one is probably going to be. I feel like there's going to be a lot more of those than the former option. So let's go with funny violent, but also funny if there's one.
Well, she modified for a lack of a better way to put it, like a child's toy gun, like foam bullet shooter with like the little suction cup on the end.
Be a real gun.
To be a real gun?
Not to be a real gun, but to, shall we say, shoot with a little more distance. Yeah, she got me between the eyes with a suction cup from an unseen vantage point on top of one of the buildings in the center of campus. That was pretty funny.
Wow. That's both funny and funny violent. That's pretty good. I look at Troubleshooter. Do you still have it?
The modified gun, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that thing. Yeah, it's wonderful. Although, to be fair, Echo did shortly thereafter zero in on my laughter and amplify it so it hurt my own ears. So I'd
That's why you
call
don't
that
mess-
one a draw, to be fair.
That's why you don't mess with supers.
I'll drink orange juice to that, I suppose. Porter goes, Haramon, do you know how sausage works?
I'm already in the kitchen. I went into the kitchen, took my rightful place on that throne with him the second
Okay.
I walked in.
You save what was going to be burnt sausage.
I'm speaking in an accent now.
Do you know how sausage works?
Yeah.
God bless Porter.
I know how many different types of sausage work, Porter.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Oh God.
Yeah. What do you want? You want sausage slices? You want ground up sausage? You want full weenies? What do you want?
I mean, I would go like for the links, but and then
I thought Link was home this weekend.
that's good because it's the same word.
Wow, we are on one both in the game and in real life.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I just think links are a better like textual experience for sausage. And then Troubleshooter goes, fucking patties. And he goes, all right, we'll do a couple of patties also.
I start like cutting open a couple of links and just scooping out the inside and creating patties out of them.
They're best friends, but they get together and they make fun of me. She scares me so much. I don't.
Troubleshooter, do you like spicy?
Yeah. I mean, ain't a lot of people on this campus who can get it to the level I would prefer. We don't have Ivy in the building.
Herman goes insane, trying to keep it delicious, but also the spiciest thing she's ever had in her entire life. I think Herman was prepared as usual, brought their own spices from their own stash at home and was like, no one can achieve the spiciness you'd like, you'd say, and just goes blah, 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 blah.
And as you sit down to eat, she's like just downing it like, was it Lord who did Hot Ones?
Oh, yeah.
Who was like, yeah, it's good. Like, yeah, it's that kind of situation. But you do see her like blink when she takes the first one. She goes, Yeah.
You're welcome. Take a bite of my own.
Your BioWare loyalty quest for her specifically has like gone up now.
Plus 10 friendship.
And it gets to be around the time where the State of the Union is going to come on soon. And Porter, like, he goes for the remote and he looks at you guys and he goes, I mean, do you guys want to watch it? We don't have to.
We're going to find out the information at one point or another. We might as well find out about it when it's happening in real time.
Let's do it, I think.
All right, well, here we go. He turns on the TV. I guess you've turned off the cartoons at some point. So he turns back on the TV. And you see the sort of neutral like broadcast starting soon screen turn to footage of essentially a very fine office with the First City's flag behind who you know to be the president of the First City, Dana McDuffie.
Dana McDuffie. Oh.
And you see sitting at her desk is a heavy-set Black woman in her late 40s, probably. She has half moon glasses on that are gold rimmed. Her hair is cut really short, cropped to her head, and it looks like it's dyed this deep fuchsia. And she has these dangling, almost chain-like earrings that come up from like the top of her ears and then loop down to the lobes and make these like nice sort of bridge patterns. And she sits with her hands folded over the desk. And she looks into the camera. She says, "My fellow first citizens, I will not pretend that this is not a time of crisis. It is. We stand together on the precipice of a moment that will become history, no matter the outcome. We may shift our fears onto one person or another, but I would implore you not to let it rule us or guide our actions. As we speak, a bill is being finalized. The Telepathic Testimony Act will allow, if passed, testimony from approved psychics, telepaths, if you prefer, to be admissible in court. And for that testimony to be acquired without the subject's consent when a clear and present danger is, well, present. As your leader, I would be remiss if I did not tell you my opinion on the matter. You see, 1 week from today, the future of this bill is in your hands. The vote will be yours. And I would ask you, humbly, vote no. This is a bill fueled by our fears. At this moment, the one we call the Silencer sits in jail. Knowing things that could help us unravel this dark mystery that surrounds us. Her horrible crimes may justify in your mind the means to that end. But it won't end there. Fear is corrosive for all of us. It always has been. We could bow to our fear, to our gratification, and allow ourselves to pollute future generations with our fears. Or we can make a stand now. She really does take like a very deliberate pause there, just staring into the camera. Perhaps it's rash of me to go so off book here, to tell you my personal feelings. But I believe that it's my responsibility. And now, it's yours as well. Be true to yourself, not your fear. Jeremy Johnson has agreed to a meeting. A neutral third party will be present in FCN's own Jack Lopez and Director Asher will assure a safe environment for the truth to win out. Albert Rose is safely secured in a secure environment. And he will pay for his crime. And allow me to specify the crime that we know, not the ones we create from fear. I implore you to wait. If not patiently, then smartly. And allow this city to truly be a part of this world. First citizens, I thank you. We will persevere. And she nods. Music begins to play, and the broadcast fades out. It then just sort of naturally fades to news coverage, people just discussing in real time, like what we all just saw.
So was that out of game? Was that new information that it would be like referendum, pretty much like purely public vote?
It was implied to you that it would be a public vote,
Mhm.
that it would be something that people would have to vote on. And that's pretty standard for something this loaded,
Mhm.
for it to be in the hands of the public. There are certain carryovers from like old Earth democracy that are still here, but in situations like this strange area of like how to maintain government styles that we have believed to be fair or that we've done in the past, but now trying to balance them with a world of people with wild and unpredictable powers. A lot of the time, things are left to the public when they're this charged.
Mhm.
But this is kind of the scariest one you can think of, short of like the very beginning of superpowers. You know,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Feels
Okay.
like maybe some of what Jeremy says during his interview needs to be slanted towards talking people down from voting for this. I don't know. Feels like that's kind of important. Or at least
But
us trying to figure out how to cut this off.
Is that any of our responsibility though?
No, but is any of this our responsibility? It's just kind of I mean, that's kind of just a trait. It's nothing, but I don't know. Heroes do things, and I'm just not used to not trying to do something.
well, if we were in the desert, the idea that silencer just ain't talking, well, that wouldn't be much of an issue.
Well, it's a good thing we're not in the desert then, because, oh boy, I do not want any of these weird, possibly government moles getting wind of what we know so that they could warn their higher ups, and then all of a sudden that we have to go even further down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Porter goes, I don't know if I want to know what you know. I mean, I kind of do.
You don't. You really don't.
I don't want to know what I know.
It sucks.
It's kind of a weird thing. I mean, it kind of feels like everyone in every camp is keeping secrets. And
We're not keeping secrets. You don't want to know because it sucks to have the knowledge.
sure.
It's a burden. That I personally feel very heavily. I don't know about you guys, but
Is it so heavy because you're carrying it by yourselves?
No, it's so heavy because it's so fucked.
Yeah, like if some of the stuff got out, people will just die. So
Okay, no, yeah, that's pretty bad. Yeah. Echo goes, well, a lot of people throughout history of this world and Earth tend to say that when they mean the other thing. I mean, I trust that that doesn't apply to you guys, but I don't know. That excuse that people will get hurt if they know the truth, it just feels a little bit dated, tired. Porter may not want to know, but I'm kind of over it.
How about you ask Fortress, and then if she says yes, we can tell you. But I don't want you to get kidnapped or worse.
Emphasis on or worse.
also, I already told like the whole city already a good portion of what we know. I'm surprised that everybody's missed it because I kind of burned it into the side of a building on a show that everybody was watching. But I mean,
That they're missing kids, right? I mean, I don't really know who they are, but yeah.
don't you find it strange that I would include the silencer, a pretty bad guy, right next to Jeremy, and the only other person there that has a face, which may mean that they're the only other person that we really know?
I mean, look, man, I was a little skeptical about you, but this thing, some people are pissed about. I kind of think it's the best thing you've done. I mean, things are out in the open now. We're closer to a solution than we've ever been. It's just historically that tends to be the most volatile time. Isn't it our job to carry that? To fight that so other people don't have to?
But not every hero's battle is the same, and not every hero shares the same battle.
That's true.
You'll probably encounter stuff in your heroing career that you won't really share with anyone else or a couple of people. It's just seems like ours is having like we're the first ones. There's always a first, right? And we're the first ones to have such a problem, a conundrum.
There's always a first.
Echo looks over at Porter. Something softens a little bit. Could be just that radiant positive energy that comes off of him that seems to be like the only thing that can just cut through her when she's really locked in like this. She goes, well, whatever happens, even though I'm sorry about it, because it sucks for you, I'm glad that if someone who doesn't deserve to be at the heart of it is at the heart of it, that it is you. I'm glad. I'm glad that it's you. You guys, you can take stuff. You've been through stuff that others of us, I mean, we're training to be prepared for, but you guys have lived it. And I'm not going to glorify you for that. Some people might. But I am going to stand behind you for it. Or next to you.
Either way is good.
Troubleshooter actually nods at that and gives a little salute with her glass.
BB does the same. I think she also pulls out her phone to check and see if Pantheon is texted.
Not yet.
Okay, got it.
I mean, like she's checked in just today in general. Like when you got up, you talked to her, I'm sure.
Gotcha. Okay.
But she's sort of waiting to know when you guys are ready to sit down and discuss your plan.
Mm-hmm.
She was letting you guys, like, she knew that you guys had plans this morning, you know, and we're
Yeah,
going to
okay,
watch the
gotcha.
thing to get all of the information for the discussion, you know.
Got it.
I think Hermone clocks that BB's done that
Mhm.
and can make the inference. That or it just triggers something in Hermone's brain. And they're like, well, I mean, you guys have a point. You are out of the loop. You are essentially the public right now. So maybe focus group, what questions do you think we should answer? Do you have for us, or for Jeremy, I should say, that you think would be good to put into this interview?
Ooh. That's smart. We can do that. Yeah.
I'm gonna also text Monarch that, because I feel like Monarch is also a good expression of the public.
She's hip with the kids.
Porter goes, well, I guess wanting to know where you've been. The details of your relationship with I don't know the right word to call him, but you know, he did some stuff, and we know now that he was the victim, but we don't know everything. And honestly, if you have any information about who is leaking DNA, I mean, if there's illegal cloning going on and you know who's behind it, that seems like something we should all know.
I think Hermone wants to look at BB, but knows better because they know the company they're in, and just stares into their cup.
I think BB's just staring at her phone. I think maybe like one of the last text messages she's gotten was from her mom, and that's just kind of near the top of her messages screen.
Jeremy is trying to poker face, realizing that he has never fully answered or asked that question.
Hey, if you just want to focus group the asking, I mean, you're going to answer these tomorrow anyway. You don't have to answer now.
No, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's
Yeah.
good. We just have to be very careful.
Very careful.
Like, I'm not promising that we'll answer all of these, obviously,
Mhm.
because we have to be very careful.
Well, you guys aren't even going to be there, right? I mean,
That's
that'd
a
be
good
crazy.
question. Well, we might be like backstage, maybe.
Yeah, you'll be
Like
back.
off
Sure, yeah,
camera?
if you want. I mean, I would,
I don't know.
if it were me,
That's
I would
something we
be
have to
doing
talk
some
about.
identity hiding,
Oh, you know
Maybe
I'm always.
Yeah.
You know I'm
Masks,
always
we'll do
out
that.
there.
you know, all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of which, this is really hard. This is really, really, really hard. Really hard. You guys are probably our closest friends here. We've known you from the beginning of this, and I understand that it's really rude that we haven't told you, really that I haven't told you my,
It's not rude.
No, I
or
mean
her.
it is though. I mean,
It's
how
not
am I
rude
gonna
at
be
all.
your-
It's not rude.
But the thing is, it's not what you think. It's not that I don't trust you guys. It's not that I don't want to be friends. It's sort of a thing with me. My name is like, it's not like important to me. It's just, I don't, I don't like it very much. But like, you should know it, you know.
Is there another
That's-
name that you'd want us to call you?
Yeah, that's fully up to you.
Yeah,
You-
that's
also you can just choose a different name if you want.
I can, but it's not like a. Echo goes, you should just do it, Matt. Look, he's making it really serious. And if he feels it's serious. But like, it's also his reasoning. When you hear what the reasons are, it's just do it, man. And he goes, all right, look, my name is Dante Steele.
Sounds like
Yeah?
a Devil May Cry character.
Is there like a visible reaction?
No.
Okay.
That was just me.
the
His silhouette
corner-
is kind of like,
the corner of
Like,
Beebe's mouth
looking,
turns
but-
out just a little bit.
Final Fantasy ass name.
he goes, I
That-
know.
It's really real. You wear it well.
That's the whole thing. When you look at this guy, and you look, he's wearing like a pink polo shirt, and like he looks nice. He looks really nice. But like, you know, you see a tall, skinny man, like
We see a
well
twin.
dressed,
Mm-hmm,
and he goes, when you hear a name like that, you expect that to be kind of a secret identity for a hero. It was like, you know, that's like a name, right? And then I
joy.
teleport in and I say, hi guys. And it's just kind of like, I chose the name Porter because that seems more appropriate for my whole energy. I mean, you know how many times I applied before I even got into this program? I want a name that fits me, right? I'm just a guy who's doing the right thing. I'm not Tonatress. I'm not, you know, so I just feel like Dante Steele is just going to get laughs in my face. It's stupid. It's just a me thing. Now you know.
No lie. I just assumed you were doing like a double bluff situation, and Porter was your real human name, but also because you can teleport. Like it was a fun
Oh
coincidence.
yeah, I could
thing.
see that too.
So, like,
I mean, I wanted you to think that. I do want you to think that. It sounds
Okay.
like it's just a name. That's why I like it so much. But if I did it, then you have to do it too. This is Reina Marquez, and she elbows him super hard.
just say
Dang.
people's names.
And
other names.
Echo goes, Kez is good.
Kez.
Kaz.
Kez.
I'm
What?
Bailey Baker.
I
I think
really-
I already said that. Yeah. What
Yeah.
was that? Sorry.
oh, I was about to say, like, I think that's the only. Well, you're the only one.
I feel like everybody knows they all know your guys's. They just
Yeah.
haven't
Oh
said
yeah,
theirs.
I thought so. I just was
Yeah.
throwing that in there.
If you
just in
wanted to
case.
say it now, then you can. But
Yeah.
yeah, they
I'm
they kinda know.
Again, I'm Bailey Baker.
troubleshooter goes, I don't care about any of this, so I'm not gonna but good juice, good sausage. We'll talk about that later. I gotta give you mine sometime. And then she stopped and you see
Hello?
her clock
I
like
think
what
Kara-
it sounded
yeah.
like she
I
said.
think Caramon is like, oh my fucking God.
She goes, fucking know what I meant. And she leaves.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
BB looks over at like Jeremy and Harriman silhouette and is like, should we get back to our house and start hammering out plans for tomorrow?
Yeah, probably.
Let's do it.
Yep.
Time to diffuse the city.
Thank you guys for breakfast. That was great.
Anytime, you know. anytime there's like a, even when there's not a important, address from the leader of our city.
Just
we
a
can
normal
sort of
breakfast.
have like non-emotionally charged eggs.
Beautiful. That sounds good to me. We'll do that soon. Well, on the flip side,
Yeah. So you guys head back to your house to have this discussion?
I think so.
And do you
I
want Pantheon
guess.
over there?
Yeah,
Okay.
that
Did
feels like it makes the
Monarch
most sense.
ever get back on any questions that she had for?
Yeah, you
Oh God.
So from Monarch, you get okay, but like who are all the kids, right? And like what was the bird about in it? Like what was the
And
bird about?
She's throwing that in.
Who's the
there.
bird?
Who's the
Were you the bird?
what does the fox say?
I'll send back. Thank you for your question. Oh man, she's precious.
It's true.
So these burning questions. Who is the bird? On your mind as you gather round the living room area. Pantheon sitting amongst you. She's kind of just waiting to see who needs to start here.
I just take an extra sausage patty and I just try it. Do it.
Is it the crazy one?
Yes.
Not bad.
I'm home. All these people can handle spice. Anyways, well, we got some focus group peer submitted questions. Pretty standard. I have a out of game question. Did we tell Pantheon the stuff about Tara Baker? Did we just say everything? I
We
can't
probably
remember.
said every. I feel like
Well,
we
you
probably-
had her listening in.
Oh yeah.
Right.
She knows. But does
Yeah.
Fortress and when we were in the meeting and we were recounting everything.
There was an interruption though when she was listening because early on she had to go.
True.
Yeah.
I feel
So
like
she's
we probably
missing
did
big chunks.
tell her most of it whenever we got the chance to.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's up to you because it's your mom.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It's
It's a
all
funny
good.
statement.
It's up to you, bro. It's your mom.
That's your fucking mom, dude. I can't
True.
make that choice.
Yeah, we told Pantheon.
So okay, my question to you, BB, is are we gonna just hardcore throw your mom under the bus and reveal this information and inevitably throw her into a fury that we didn't talk to her about this beforehand? Or like, what do you want to do with that piece? That's the piece that I'm like not so sure on.
BB is kind of just like looking at her hands or looking at her phone. She's like, most of me really doesn't want to because I'm afraid of what was going to happen. But I think the smarter half of me knows that I don't really owe her anything. And she did do all the things that she did. I think probably she's going to get thrown under the bus at some point because she does need to be held responsible for her actions. I just don't know if I want to be the one to pull the trigger on that.
Would you
But-
rather we take our time on that one and try to see if there's actual evidence we could gather?
Silhouette
Yeah.
gets
Proof.
like in on that. she seems into that.
Yeah, I think evidence is the move. Because it would just be our word against hers otherwise, kind of, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally like all hearsay, right? Because if like Silencer said it for real, it would be like firsthand testimony / a confession. But if we say it, or I guess Jeremy says it, because he wasn't even there. But I'm just thinking, like, for instance, right? He goes, well, my team went and had a completely unrecorded secret meeting with the Silencer in which she said that she heard
This is true.
that Tara Baker did this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's not anything.
We need harder evidence, yeah.
Would it be too much to say we have suspicions of who it is, but we need more or should we just like not bring it up? If possible.
I think we might want to leave it out, because I think if we say we have suspicions and it's this person, or that it's this person, it might just be viewed as like Jeremy redirecting the blame for, or like redirecting tension away from him onto someone else. Even though we all know that she did do all these things.
My thoughts exactly, BB. And you'll see him like kind of like pulling over this like big old whiteboard and kind of dinging the walls a little bit. And he has like dry erase markers on it, and he says, now, what I'm going to say is, I have 2 goals for this, and he'll write it down on the board. And he says, 1, reassure the public that I am not super crazy terrorist. And 2,
Yep.
2, tell them exactly jack shit while making them think that I told them a lot. Now, I don't want to tell them anything, because in any criminal investigation, telling the public exactly everything that you know just complicates it even more. And 2, I want this whole thing to just be like, you know how sometimes when your cat gets like a worm or something, you gotta like pull it out, but if you like leave a bit in, it can just regenerate or just make the problem worse.
You mean like a tick?
Yeah, like a tick. We want to make sure that we get the tick out in just one pull instead of having to go back in. So that's why I've been a very hush-hush with this information, because I don't want that tick to move around and be a bastard. So to that end, we have 5 questions so far of differing eloquence. Where have I been? Good question. What's my relationship with JJ? Complicated. How did I get all the information, the leak stuff? Terrifying, because I haven't thought of it. Who's the bird?
Who's the bird?
Yeah, what bird?
That's Pantheon.
No. Yeah,
The bird is the word.
You can thank Monarch for that one. And what's up with the kids?
That's a good one.
The hard thing is we can't answer one without just snowballing into the others, right? So it's like,
Well, I think maybe we could answer where did you come from? Because the answer to that is you don't know. Saying that you woke up in a warehouse and had your memories wiped, I don't think puts you necessarily in a bad position. Because that would also solve. What was the third question?
Where I got all the information from. or like where all the leaks about the DNA happened.
Oh,
I think that's more about like what whistleblower is.
Mhm.
yeah.
So I can't really answer that one. So we
Well, here's where just a little bit of fibbing could come in. You could say it was on you when you woke up in said warehouse and you just don't know how you got it. You just had it. And then
Well,
Yeah.
I can also just tell the truth, and I mean I got all that stuff before I disappeared from like my days in the PvP. So like
Fair.
I can be truthful with that one and just say that I've been investigating this a long time.
BB looks at Pantheon and goes, "Do you think it would benefit us to just be truthful?"
About some things, sure, but the concern is muddling up the issue with things we can't back up. And, well, as much as I hate to continue all of this, like, secrets are important shit we've been wrapping ourselves around, the fact that we don't know how deep this goes, how deep Vitriol's plan goes, that could create an issue. I mean, if we are trying to convince people not to vote yes on these acts, telling them that there could be people who are affected by someone who has wrapped this city in a stranglehold of terror more than maybe anyone ever, right? I mean, we're essentially handing the city a boogeyman and saying anyone could have been affected by this. Right now, it's still kind of a nebulous concept. Right now, it's still, well, we don't know where this stuff is coming from. There's probably a leak in the government. Oh, no. But knowing that one of the most dangerous people who ever lived here left the seeds of his plan could have affected anyone, I worry that that's only going to make people more afraid and vote with that fear.
I was under the impression that we were not gonna really tell people other than the people that we already told about the whole vitriol thing. Yeah, I think the best plan would be to go in saying that we know a lot more and have a lot more clues than we actually have. Just kind of be like, we totally got this, guys. And then just kind of go on from there.
If I know one thing from watching history and not only just how the public in the past used to work, but seemingly how First City people operate, is that if you give them an inch, they'll want to run the mile. So I think we don't even say, we have more, don't worry, it's fine, because they don't trust you right now. So we just omit what we omit and say what we say, but we don't give any sort of lead, if that makes sense.
And an additional possibly maneuver to that is saying we can't reveal this information now because it is under investigation. Or
By
like,
AID.
yeah, AID, yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was more
so-
going for.
Yeah,
Which
we
is
try to
kind of
drop
where
this-
we're at already.
Yeah.
Sorry, please continue.
No, I'm just saying we drop as much information about maybe Jeremy's specific perspective as we
Mhm.
can, while also trying to cloud everything as being like, but this is under investigation by AID, and sharing it with the public would put that investigation under, I don't know, even more speculation or whatever.
I mean, the thing about being superheroes is that we solve problems that the government can't. And within reason, sort of follow our own jurisdiction on the matter, I guess. In this moment, especially, knowing that anyone in the government could be in on this, a threat, more than ever now, the issue gets solved by us. If we think about an explicit goal here, it's not to give them something they can use to solve this. I mean, Asher has the tools, right? We have the tools. The issue is we need to keep Jeremy out of jail and myself and Fortress long enough to actually solve the issue.
So then, should we approach everything with the sense of like, guys, I was kidnapped and I was cloned, and I really don't know what's going on as much as you do, but I'm trying to solve it. So please trust that I'm trying to solve it. Is that sort of where we should be coming from?
We could. I mean, technically, Jeremy didn't hurt anyone. What you did could be construed as an attack, but anyone can look back at that footage and see that you weren't attacking anyone. Nothing came close to hurting anyone. Rose can't press charges to that effect because he wasn't attacked. That's the ground that he wants to stand on, right? Granted, it doesn't seem like he is pressing charges, and there's a lot of heat on him now anyway. I guess public opinion is kind of on your side here, somewhat, in that regard. I feel like we're lucky here. In a sense, you're the only thing that you would be held accountable for, the thing that your crime would be considered, is like a public danger.
I have a question. What is the public's understanding of Decker's place? If any, are they even aware that it exists?
More so now than before.
Maybe we should pay our Scottish friend a visit and make sure, one, he doesn't hate us. Two, see if he has if there's any way we can sort of divert, because I would bet some money that this reporter guy might ask a question about that in that footage. And I don't know what we would answer to that, but also Decker seems to be a valuable resource that we should not squander.
Agreed.
This is kind of a weird time to bring this up. But assuming everything shakes out and we're still able to proceed as normal, without going into too much unnecessary detail at the moment, I mean, after you get your licenses and costumes, you and all of the champions will have an opportunity to reveal your new identities to the public as heroes in training, as the next generation. If you all intended to do that anyway, you wouldn't be forced to, but your heroes. You're going to be public at some point, in your persona anyway. The idea that Jeremy was fighting alongside other members of Team Pantheon, at least in my opinion, is really not that big a deal. That reflects worse on me more than anything, and I can take that. Hell, I mean, I was dead, right? The expectations on me shouldn't be that high. And my reputation, those who are old enough to remember, they know I don't always follow the rules. Maybe I'll get back that charm. People used to love that.
I mean, I'm guessing you look the same, so it probably wouldn't be that hard.
I do, yeah.
Yeah. So I can go to Decker's tonight if we really care.
If you want backup, I'll go with you. But if you think it'd be wiser for us to stay away from the spot, it's
Well,
fine.
I'm just
But
thinking
maybe bring someone, if not any of us.
Yes. I'm thinking maybe just not you, Jeremy, or Silhouette, because
Yeah.
you were the ones on the tape.
Fair enough.
But I don't know if that's a priority right now.
Well, I will tell you that Tonatrus is working to that end. It's a little more his area.
Hmm.
He's scoping things out, and best he can tell is Decker has, well, a lot of inquiring minds pointed in his direction at this time.
So maybe
Doesn't look like anyone can pin anything on him. He didn't do anything wrong or illegal anyway,
Hmm.
but he doesn't seem particularly happy.
I mean, maybe it would be just enough to be like, hey, dude, is there any way that we can fix it? Because we have this opportunity, and see what he says. Because even though he's a piece of shit, I mean, he's pretty fun and he's a good resource. I wouldn't want to have a bad relationship or get banned.
You can certainly try. I would just advise a lot of caution because it's a lot of First City security there at this time.
Okay.
Business is not really running as usual at this moment.
Mhm.
People are steering clear because you understand the usual clientele.
Yeah,
They're not really about the spotlight.
that makes sense. It's up to you.
I was just not going to answer the question. I'm just there to explain the thing that I did and ease public tension. I'm not there to blab about Decker or vitriol or anything like that. I'm just there to ease public tension.
Then maybe visiting Decker is another event for another day.
Seems a bit too hot right now.
Yeah.
We should make sure he's still in our corner, though, whenever we can. Or convince him that we can be of use to him, whatever's the move there.
Mhm.
Well, everything we learned through Dr. Mary and Poltergeist, I feel that that's some of the more dangerous territory to tread. Putting vitriol in people's minds
Mm-mm.
and giving psychic hearsay. Again, it's up to you, Jeremy, but my personal opinion is that's probably something to stray away from.
I got the basic format of what I'm going to say in my mind. One, the giant memorial thing that I did was to refocus everybody's view on how this wasn't something that just happened to me or JJ or the Silencer, that there are still people that this is actively happening to, and that they're still out there and they're still possibly suffering. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Two, I didn't intend to attack Rose. I have no reason to. I mean, he's a chump, but that's just about it. I literally just wanted to use him for more publicity.
That works. I mean, this is functionally, again, kind of lucky, right? You're sort
Yeah.
of being given a pre-trial trial that is not a trial. Since you didn't hurt anyone, as long as you can really back up the fact that you weren't trying to, which is clear from the video footage, the only people who can press charges against you is the city itself for endangering the public or public property or what have you. Creating a scene.
Vandalism.
Not a lot of ground.
They'd get me on
They
vandalism.
could get you on vandalism. Not a lot of ground to stand on. Certainly nothing to hold you. Nothing to justify trying to usurp the sanctuary that is Moonlight Academy to apprehend you. You're making your case that you've not committed a crime. I'm confident that you can pull that one off.
Oh yes. On that front, in case like AID or like FCS or whatever acronym tries to come after like Moonlight, I will just be getting out of here because I don't want to put anything on you guys, but I'll be going to JJ and we established like a little secret hideout in the sewers. I'll give you guys a map on how to get there because assuming I'm able to like one, show people that I am leaving Moonlight, and then two, shake the heat from me, I'll be there, and then we can just continue these talks down in the sewers. Trust me, we picked a spot where it's not stinky.
You have a secret hideout and you didn't tell us this whole time.
I mean, how else is it gonna stay secret?
Fair point.
Yeah.
Well, it seems to me that you got it down. I mean, if we're allowed in the studio, we'll be off camera anyways, so we can't say anything.
Well, that's the question. I mean, that's really the final thing that needs addressing is where, because we have some pull in terms of that. We can choose a neutral location. I don't think they want us to do it here.
Is there something in putting it in front of an AID building to imply, again, give the illusion of like, I mean, we are investigating with the AID, but
what about,
kind of, yeah,
sorry, I keep interrupting you, like real
Very
life,
good.
I keep interrupting you, feel bad.
it's shown.
What about Arbiter's Tower?
That might be an idea.
That's very interesting.
I made Black Bullet a bit more toasty. I don't really think that I should go near the
Well, they
arbiters.
wouldn't really, I mean, if they would be there, they wouldn't be able to do anything to you. But the idea of like the non-government superheroes are showing good faith by deeming the government superheroes house to be a neutral zone, or it's like a good faith sort of thing, like just like we're not enemies and we trust you at least enough to do this kind of thing.
Last time I visited public buildings, arson happened twice, and the first time someone got kidnapped. So I don't know if that's the whole thing that we want to go with. I had an idea actually of maybe continuing the whole plot line by going to Prestige's studio. I mean, that's where you guys announced my whole stuff the first time. That could be fun.
We could do that. It's not exactly a neutral location. That is sort of making a stand in our territory, I guess, air quotes. But if you feel safer there, there's nothing wrong with that.
Anybody else have any fun locations?
Ship
Nice.
shake.
Just a random ship shake.
The most neutral of grounds.
I mean, it definitely has to be some place that the public just doesn't have normal access to. So, you know, I think prestigious place is okay. Arbiter's Tower, Arbiter's Tower, whatever. Their tower, okay, because the public can't just walk in. I mean, it could just be at FCN. That's, but then you have literally all of the rest of the FCN employees and crew there to see you, to see us, to
Yeah.
see everything.
I mean, no one is telling anyone where this thing is going down until it goes down.
Yeah, and if we do it at FCN, people will know.
I
So
think- oh, sorry, continue.
no, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I stand by my suggestion, but it is ultimately up to you because it's your interview.
I think doing it at Prestige's place is probably the best because one, they're on our side. Two, I don't trust the feds. Three, the crew is all used to probably dealing with like super people and like keeping their mouths shut. So
Oh, those NDAs are like the tightest forms ever written.
yeah,
Agreements
so
ever
like
written.
I think that's the best idea. And four, if anything goes down, I mean it's Prestige's place, and Prestige ain't no chump. So
That's true. I mean, he can't be present for the actual event. I mean, that would be, well, I mean, we could push for it, but the idea of you, Asher, and a third party, one not beholden to us or the government, one who represents the public. I don't want to tip the balance of power here. He can be nearby.
He could be in the building.
His studio is a good idea, and I'm happy to put that forward. But I would say not his show. This is still going to be its own broadcast.
yeah, sounds good. Plus, probably also, I mean, he's friends with. Does Quickstep have friends?
Oh,
More than you might think.
Okay, because I was thinking that probably maybe Quickstep gave him some like security systems. I mean, like it's his offices or like his stuff. I'm pretty sure that he has like alarms or something, some pretty good security just in case, I don't know, somebody tries to rush the building.
Well, on that subject, she reaches into her bag and she pulls out 4 small boxes. She opens them up and you see inside in like a foam sort of protective, like memory foam, what look to be earpieces. They are almost transparent, but you can see little bits of like the wiring inside. They're the kind that wrap around the back of your ear, but they're small, so they look like they fit really snugly against your ear, so your ear kind of hides it somewhat. And then there's like a piece of metal that actually goes more in your ear, like a comm, like a regular comm. And there's one for each of you. And she goes, maybe this is paranoid, but we all agreed, all of us of Nova anyway, in light of recent information, it would be smart for you to wear these. This is the technology that Dr. Quickstep developed years ago to counter Vitriol's power. I don't know.
Take one. Crazy.
I mean, technically, there's actually a pair of them for all of you. You have to wear both.
How are we gonna use our normal ones then? Question mark.
Yeah, that's kind of the issue. I'm not saying you have to wear them during this. It's just, for lack of knowing, I mean, we know he's dead, but seeing the ripple effect of his power, it just brings up too many possibilities. And if there's any chance that there's someone out there who can do what he did, who could do what he could, then you need to be protected. It scrambles auditory signals in real time and pieces them together enough so you're still hearing information as close to how it should sound as possible. But the data is scrambled enough to disrupt his power. It's extremely complicated. I honestly think if Quickstep hadn't shared this technology with the world, she would be the only person capable of even coming up with such a thing and executing it. But we know they work, or at least they used to. Granted, part of that's a little bit in doubt now, knowing he left so much behind, but we have to do our best.
Jeremy will like plug him in, but while he's doing it, he'll be like, I never understood why you guys didn't just do earplugs, but hey, cool tech's cool tech.
Sometimes you have to, talk to a person to understand what they did.
Sounds kind of fake to me, but all right.
Yeah.
Socializing with people? No.
Never heard of it, honestly. Well, the benefit of doing this in prestigious studio is there's a good enough viewing area for the rest of us to wait in. And secure entrances and exits. I'll get in contact with Asher. We'll make it happen. In the meantime, prepare as best you can. Try to rest. And in the morning, well, it happens, I guess.
All right, well, we'll be ready, as always.
I know you will. I can stay here if you prefer. I mean, I'm fine with couches.
Sleepover?
Sleepover? Ooh.
I wouldn't say no.
I mean, yeah, but also you can have your bed, your normal human bed.
I don't know.
I mean, you can have my
just in
bed if you
case
want.
would feel safer. It's stupid. It's fine. I'll go.
Oh, why? Because you're a big, cool goddess woman with super strength and flying and speed and
Yes,
invulnerability. And
literally that.
can throw lightning bolts, and I'm not jealous at all.
Literally that. People keep putting you in danger in places that should be safe. So yeah, I mean,
It's true. Silencer did sneak onto campus undetected. Which
yeah, that's
we should.
just horrible.
Did we ever talk about that fact that no one knew that she was here?
We've been addressing the problem.
Okay. Is it because she's a clone of BB that she was able to get it? Like what?
It's part of it.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, then, good night.
See you tomorrow.
And as always, I am sorry. and proud.
Brutal.
Punch her on the arm when she says sorry, and I give her a hug when she says proud.
Nice.
And she leaves you to the night. How do you
I
guys
think-
kind of... Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, I think Baby will stay up with Jeremy as long as he wants someone to help him keep working or whatever, to talk things through. But eventually we'll probably call it early.
I think Jeremy will practice like playing the spoons for a little bit and then head to bed.
Yeah, just boy things.
Yeah,
You know.
you know. Yeah. But
Stoner!
the feel when you're the only like male presence in a house of very feminine energy.
And you just gotta play with some spoons.
Yeah, you know.
What about Harriman?
I was gonna say that like Hermone is so dived into the idea of like this could very potentially be the last couple of weeks I ever see any of these people ever again. So they will be going to spend a lot of time not in the house. But I think because this is so important, they stay singularly present. They don't invite anyone over or anything like that.
Hell yeah.
So the next morning, you wake up, Pantheon in civilian clothes arrives and brings you, let's see, a fun way for her to bring you to Prestige's studio.
As long as it's not flying, we're good.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be. I think in her secret identity, she just drives you close to there. And then she brings you into a completely different building that's just like some innocuous random business with some generic brand name out front. She shows some sort of token or something, where she says something to one of the people at the desk, and you're let in to a room that then descends down into a tunnel that brings you underground to a secret entrance that leads you straight into a viewing room that you understand to be within Prestige's studio.
Fun.
Superheroes have
Fun.
just all of these wild ways to
Secret tunnels.
yeah,
We love it.
making tunnels everywhere. And inside, you see actually a pretty spacious, almost lounge-like area. And all of the entrances and exits are like, they're not hidden from inside, but you can see how they might be from outside. And all of them are like reinforced and protected. There are a ton of huge screens all around. And there are like data pads around as well that you can mess with. That's a Star Wars word. And you also note that there is no small shortage of Prestige merch in here, and like a fridge.
Oh, bet.
It looks like this is simultaneously a viewing room, but also almost a bunker in a strange sort of way.
I'm stealing all his food.
I mean, it's pretty good.
This is Haramon's new trait: stealing all of the items out of fridges of people they don't really like.
Real hot person shit.
Yeah.
So I think that Pantheon changes into her costume in here and then turns to Jeremy and she goes, okay, well, Director Asher and Mr. Lopez are waiting not just outside this door, but pretty nearby. Are you ready?
Oh no, it's kind of early, don't you think? You think that we could have scheduled this a bit later, but it should be fine. Just don't burn down the building and talk to some people. I can do that.
Early call times are brutal.
Yeah. Well, I think you've got the right attitude. Let's be super. And she like holds that for a second, like no one thought that was funny. Okay. And then she opens the door and brings you out down this pretty long hallway. You can see that there are AID agents who are just waiting outside this door.
Oh,
Just a
He'll-
couple.
Jeremy will give him a bit of subtle stink. He'll give him some of the subtle stink eye.
stay away from me.
Pantheon makes a show of being there. They open the door, and inside, for just a moment before Director Asher steps in the way, you see a much more modest studio than the one that you actually see with like the full set. This almost looks like a backup set for smaller productions. This isn't where he films his actual show, but maybe where they do cutaways to like digital shorts. You see that there's actually kind of like a 3-dimensional projection, sort of Mandalorian volume situation where different environments can be projected for, again, those little cutaway digital shorts that they do on the show, or just other shows that they might film here. You see inside that there is a man just sitting and waiting, reading on his pad. Very handsome, like pointed square jaw in a way, with very big expressive eyes, hair neatly combed back. He looks like he's probably in his 30s, and he's wearing this nice dark gray suit with no tie, just kind of an open collar underneath. He looks very professional, sitting up straight, sort of consulting with others, but the crew here is very minimal. There's just like 2 people working the camera, 1 person on sound, and then these 2 guards out here. He doesn't even clock that like you're over here yet, because Director Asher like steps into the doorway, and she looks to the other 2 agents who like step aside deliberately to let her through. And she goes to shake your hand if you accept it.
Newly promoted Director Asher.
Newly minted public figure hero in training. I'm glad you're here. You too, presumably in some cool secret superhero bunker somewhere nearby watching. And Pantheon goes, well, I can neither confirm or deny, but I can leave. It'll be okay. And Asher goes, yeah, of course it'll be okay. I'm in control here. All right. It'll be. Pantheon gives you a little shoulder squeeze and turns and leaves back down the hallway. Sort of leaving you here in the silence with Asher and like the din of preparation in the room beyond.
So, what's this reporter like? Lopez is his name or something? I don't know. I never watched FCN.
Oh, he's good. I mean, he's tenacious. He's he has a tendency to really tap into what the public wants to know. He does have free reign to ask his own questions, but we can accept or reject them as much as we want.
Oh, I can't wait to disappoint him.
If there's one thing that I believe about him, at least, is that he loves the people of this city, and he really believes in that classic sort of journalistic spirit. He's not going to try to skew this one way or another. Honestly, I think he was probably the best person for the job. People trust this guy. They like him. If he's on board with us, then I think many will follow.
Well, I guess we'll find out if he is or he isn't right now then, huh?
I don't suppose you want to do like hair and makeup or anything like that. I mean, it's not really necessary for this kind of thing. That's more a TV guy's thing. And you do see that they're like touching up and stuff with him. And, you know, you don't have to do that if you don't want to.
See my outfit? I stay fresh. I have no expiration date.
Incredible.
Yeah, good. That's good energy. That's good. And she brings you over, and it goes to sit you down, but Lopez sees you and he immediately stands up. He doesn't make any move to like try to shake your hand. He looks like he's trying really hard to be respectful. He goes, well, Jeremy Johnson, it is a pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine, Mr. Lopez. I love your show. He'll stick out his hand.
Thank you very much. I should tell you, I've curated quite a few questions from the public, polling people just out on the streets, what they want to know, what they need to know, in my opinion, what they deserve to know. I hope that you don't take any of it personally and that I'm clear in my intention. I don't believe either way. I don't see you as a hero or a villain. Any opinions I may have, well, they're left at home. Here, I just want to protect people. And I hope that includes you.
That is something that I can respect and appreciate. The only thing that I hope is to ease the public fears and that you walk out seeing me as a friend, if anything.
Well, it's not in my job description, but it is something I hope for when I go on a job. This is a bit more than a job, isn't it? And you see one of the people behind the camera goes, Mr. Lopez, we're on in 5 more minutes. If you're ready.
I don't know why I didn't think that this would not be live. Let's hope that I don't stutter.
And I think when you say that, though, you like say that it's live, and he looks back to his camera people and he like smiles a little bit and he goes, we're on. It's not necessarily going to be live. I mean, if we start broadcasting and then everyone knows that this is where we are, they'll swamp the place. Like, we're going to release this very soon, but you know, we're not going to put you in danger here.
You'll see Jeremy just kind of like blush a little bit and be like, I know, I was just testing if you knew that. He'll just kind of sit down and like grab a cup and try and sip anything that's in there.
I believe in reporting responsibly. And Asher takes a seat And you're positioned in such a way where it's like you are facing Asher and he is in the middle. And you're all kind of cheated toward the camera, like almost wedge position like that. But he is centered. He is sort of framed as the mediator of this. And as he looks down at his notes, he goes, "Oh, I almost forgot. If you have any input on the backdrop, we want you to feel comfortable."
A collage of guns.
Pointed towards the camera.
He'll sit there for a second and he'll sort through all like the goofy things that he was thinking of, like floating through outer space or anything like that. And then he'll kind of like serious up a little bit and be like, could you put up that the poster thing that I did the other day that kind of started all this?
Well, we do have the image prepared. I think we can do that. And then you do see it just sort of imposed all around. You see him just sort of study it, waiting. Asher is kind of just watching him. The moments sort of blur together until you see that countdown. And then he just begins. Hello, people of the First City. This is an important day, and I'm humbled to be the one here. I won't pretend to represent you, but hopefully I will represent your best interests. Your questions will be featured front and center here, joined, of course, by our own new acting director of First City's division of AID is Director Asher. She nods. And of course, Jeremy Johnson. And then you like that moment of like kind of a nod. He just sort of like very professionally continues when he realizes that you don't say anything. Because Asher didn't say anything either. So he's just like, okay, I'm the TV guy here. I accept that. He goes, Jeremy, if it's all the same to you, I would like to begin with some of the most pressing questions. Starting with, well, simply, where have you been?
Well, I grew up in Amberley and I visited First City, but other than that, I haven't been very far. Never been to the main continent. But more recently, if you're talking about my disappearance for a time, I'm not really certain that that is something that I have been trying to figure out myself, but yeah, it's a mystery to me as well.
So we are to believe, as you're stating, you have absolutely no insight, no investigations conducted by your superiors at Moonlight Academy.
Did we like establish a signal for like skip question or something?
Asher can read it if you're putting out that vibe.
Yeah, he'll just kind of put out that vibe subtly and professionally, but like
And she does. She says, with respect, any investigation conducted by Nova, when those results are yielded, they'll be shared with us and us with them, us being AID. It wouldn't be particularly fruitful to explore the avenues of possibility. We need answers. You deserve answers. When we have them, so will you. I do thank you for your candidness, both of you, which does lead me to another question that comes directly from the people of the First City. The statement that you made recently in your public appearance, the images seen here behind us. Can you explain your intention with these images?
Of course. In my brief time that I have observed the people of the city, I've come across many opinions, many thinking that this was some sort of stance against AID, or a stance against the Arbiters, or an attack on Albert Rose, but it wasn't anything. And the whole time that this case has been ongoing, I felt that we have been getting further and further away from the people it's truly affecting. And this case isn't just about what happened to me or what happened to my clone. This case is about finding the people depicted in this and ensuring that they're safe and making sure that they do not suffer anymore. And in so many other cases like this, in cases where they're horrifying villains and great heroes, we often forget about the victims. And I wanted to ensure that the victims in this case shall not be forgotten.
The victims you refer to, of course, one being your own late duplicate. But the others you refer to, this is a curious avenue. Sure, we're all familiar with the ups and downs of Miss Asher's reputation over the years. I am, of course, referring to the trial in which she attempted to testify against Albert Rose for the kidnapping of children beyond Alma's territories. Are these the same children you're referring to?
I am referring to and I think that he'll look at Detective Asher, and he's not gonna, it's not like a look of like, can we skip this one? It's more of like a, is it okay? Are you okay if I answer this one like how I want to answer it kind of look?
In that moment, you see that she is mustering all possible strength to stay professional in this moment.
Can I do an insight to see?
Sure. I'm not going to roll against you. I'm just going to see the degree to which you get there.
Oh, come on. Ugh, cringe. Good thing I have 2 levels. Slightly better, but not that great. 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. You can see that she probably knew that this was possible, that he was going to go there. But it's still deeply frustrating to her that she can't really get away from this. And that even now, with this position of authority that she has, new as it may be, that she's still having to sort of answer for this. she feels like everyone's time is being wasted. And she just wants to like barrel through this moment. And you can tell she wants to just say all of this. Just be like, you want to talk about my fucking reputation right now? But she's fighting that to be like, I understand he's trying to get to the point here. He's trying to tell people like what they want. Just like get through it.
Then he'll say, I believe that they are, yes. And I believe that Detective Asher was correct in her assertions the first time that she brought Albert Rose to trial.
He looks like he's about to continue down this road. And Asher speaks first. She fully like pre-interrupts him. And she goes, to be clear, the official position of AID is not that Albert Rose is inherently guilty of this particular crime. The connection that Silencer has to those incidents and the testimony that I once had from one of these children that you're referring to. Her name was Kate. I believe in this, but we live in a complicated world, a world of extraordinary power and ability. Just because she saw his face doesn't mean it was him. Especially in my new role, I do regret the way that everything shook out. Do I regret my anger, my passion at that time? No, I don't. And I think that informs where I am today and what I'm capable of doing now. Pursuing that avenue now, I believe, to be fruitless. However, Mr. Rose's current crime is deplorable in a different way. There's like kind of a weird sort of like energy now in the studio.
I am uncomfortable with the energy in the studio today.
Yes. Deliberately set you up for that one. And Jack, he does actually like bring his hand up to his chin like this, and he goes,
how do I diffuse this situation?
It is true, of course, that Albert Rose has committed what is very definitely a, well, deplorable crime. But I agree. This avenue isn't necessarily why we're here. What concerns me and the people of the First City is action and truth. Action in pursuit of truth. And so I must ask, to what capacity AID and Moonlight Academy, specifically the Nexus of Valiance, are working together in pursuit of unraveling this mystery. And he is looking more at her for this one. But you can see that he does look back at you to see, because he knows that a reaction out of you, in his mind, you're not as seasoned, you're not a professional, you might let something slip. You see, he's got that instinct to like look for that.
Jeremy will just continue looking at Asher like he doesn't give him anything. He's just like, say what you want to say about this one. This one's not on me. Have fun.
Mm-hmm. She leans forward in her chair a bit. Looks like she's like gathering up something that she had been prepared for. This is one she did know was coming. She goes, it's a delicate balance to walk. To believe in truth, to pursue it, believe that it belongs to the public, contributes to their overall safety, while simultaneously resenting the fact that some secrets must be kept. And now, in a time where, frankly, there are forces most likely within our own government, unpredictable forces that allowed Jeremy's DNA to be taken in the first place. What information is allowed to be public and what is not is very delicate, more so than ever at this time. And so, the complete extent of our investigation, frankly, could be obstructed by revealing its complete nature. But this is what we agreed to, what our ancestors agreed to when powers were developed, when we modeled it into our society. Rules bend. And when people prove that they can be trusted, people like Fortress, we allow them avenues that we do not allow ourselves. And Lopez goes, Now, Mr. Johnson, you were initially a member of the Power Development Program. Is that correct?
That is indeed correct.
Has there been a significant shift in your perspective? That is to say, do you believe entirely in the autonomy of licensed heroes? Heroes that come out of a place like Moonlight Academy. And are you now a part of that system?
My beliefs are far more nebulous than just one way or the other. Licensed heroes acting on their own or not. Back when we were still on Earth, the very first Moonrider, he did things because they were the right things to do and not always because they were legal. Now, he was a great hero, one of the best to ever live. I don't believe all heroes necessarily should be allowed to do whatever they want. Yet, at the same time, I don't believe that all heroes need to have a superior entity hovering over them. I was, as part of the PDP, I was set to be one of the legends, but I was forced out of that. So, I suppose I'm kind of outside of the system of heroes in that sense. I try to respect the rules, but I didn't really have a chance to enjoy the protections that a secret identity gave me. And so instead, I say that I'm more like Moonrider, just a person trying to do the right thing, sometimes making mistakes, and not always following the most legal paths to ensure the protection of the people of First City.
Powerful words. Though it is worth noting that there are many within the First City, as well as all throughout Alma's territory on Symphony, who believe that the world is very different than it was in Moonrider's day. Far less transitional. There are many who want more accountability, security. What would you say to those people as their faith in the Nexus of Valiance and those like them is somewhat shaken?
I would say that the core of those heroes remains strong. It remains pure. I would say to them that I don't blame them. I respect that they want their heroes to be able to be held accounted for. But whatever has happened, whatever is happening still, I know, even if I cannot produce physical evidence that would be good in court, but I know deep in my soul that they are still heroes that want to do the right thing. It's just that whoever has done these horrendous things has been trying to besmirch their name and the name of the people who are trying to do the right things in Alma.
And what is the right thing to you now? What will you do?
I'll bring them home. And he'll point to the people, to the poster.
Well, your intentions with your display are, of course, a concern on many people's minds. Was this an attack on Albert Rose or not? And while no one was injured, your intentions are rather on display here. If there's anything you would like to add to your testimony at this time.
Yeah, I didn't, this was nothing intended to go at him. I literally just wanted to do this at that time because I knew that everybody would be watching. That's really the only reason. Like, if it was like a parade or anything like that, I probably would have done it at the same time. It's just that I knew that everybody would be watching at that one time, and I wanted to ensure that everybody remembered that there are still victims out there that we need to protect and bring home to the people that love them.
Something seems to open a door there. Something cracks just for a moment, just long enough for you to see that it looks like you kind of did get through to him there. Asher sees it too, and she presses forward. And you can see it on her face, like she knows. And she goes, "Tell me, all the protesters you've seen, even ones who were there in the area, their actions resulted in the same lack of amount of damage, simply because theirs didn't involve a display of superpowers. Is one inherently more dangerous than the other? Or was Jeremy simply using the tools at his disposal to raise awareness in a way that is his right and all of ours?" And he's quiet for just a little too long. you see like one of the camera people kind of sweats for a second, and then he brings it back and he goes, well, I believe you've given the people of this city very much to consider. And for the time being, seems that no charges are being brought against you. Though, the connection to the villain known as the Silencer, the mystery surrounding these dark events, and the source of your knowledge, the documents that you yourself and your duplicate released in a video shown to the public from within this very building not that long ago. I am left to wonder, is there any information that you carry that you are willing to share that could shed light on this investigation, on who is to blame for these dark, dark events?
Any information that I have gleaned, I have already shared with Director Asher, and she and AID have been taking the appropriate steps to use that information to continue the investigation. I'm sorry, but you'll just have to wait just a little bit longer. But just know that it is in the right hands, and we are doing everything that we can to bring justice to these people. Or person.
He turns to her now, and she goes, what he said. You hear a little bit of a laugh from the peanut gallery.
Cut to
Oh yeah, cut to you guys
cut
for
to
sure.
in the viewing room, like just Herman's sweating the whole time, but when they do that, they're like, let's go.
Oh yeah, BB's like clapping.
Yep. It would be, oh man, I almost want to cut to like right outside that door that you guys are in. You could just hear like the muffled screams and claps, but you can't because it's a fucker.
Yeah.
So, but yes, the celebration. And then back into the studio with that attention still on Asher. She says, as I said before, who is to be trusted at this time? And the nature of these strange events complicates everything. We are doing our best. And in that vein, there is one thing. Something my predecessor would not have revealed. However, with my new role as director of AID comes certain knowledge. While I'm not about to open the book to the entire public, there is one piece of this puzzle that doesn't sit right with me. I made my case to President McDuffie, and she agreed and authorized me to reveal this information. That the city of Amberley historically has been used as something of a testing facility and a retirement facility.
Jeremy doesn't even, he just like stands up and he just like kind of rushes over and is just like, I don't know what you're trying to pull here, but that is shit that, no, you cannot do that.
You do this in the middle of the whole thing.
Yes.
You see, the agents nearby are like on standby, like, do we need to intervene here? And he goes, please let her continue.
No. No.
And she goes, Jeremy, I'm not asking. This is the right thing to do. It doesn't affect what we're trying to do. And she does whisper that part to you.
Jeremy will whisper back. Then finish this interview on your own. I gotta ensure that blood doesn't hit the soil. And he'll march out. He'll throw open the doors, and he's going to Team Pantheon.
Yeah.
And you all watch as she's silent for a moment after that. He goes, "You were saying?" She says, "As I said, the president authorized me to reveal this information. And in revealing this information, I should also note it's already been cleared. People have been relocated. We're not giving you details of classified experiments that have been done. But it's no secret to any of you now that the Johnsons were complicit in something at the very least complicit in the creation of JJ. And that knowledge died with them. You want accountability from us, and you should have it. So having a city full of secrets, it opened exactly a door that needed not to be. It allowed exploitation. Experiments that never should have been done. You can see who's been hurt. If we're going to build trust, then let's have cities of trust, not secrets. Families have been safely relocated. Any investigations attempted into that area will be heavily monitored. That's not how we're doing things anymore. And Lopez just sort of looks a little bit shell-shocked by that, and he doesn't hide it. He kind of uses it. The camera pushes in on him a little bit, and on her, just determined. This is a shocking revelation, to be sure. And with Jeremy's exit, we will move to our closing statements and bid you a good evening. And he looks back to Asher and she says, "I hope you understand." And there's a moment, Jeremy, where watching her on screen, it feels like she's talking to you. That we're trying to do this right. To heal this world. But a world's just people. Super or otherwise. So we start with us. We're trusting you to do the right thing now, too. That's all I have to say. I'll be in my office. And she stands up and also just walks out. And you just vaguely hear him trying to close things down as the screens go off. Now we're back in the bunker.
Damn.
As soon as Jeremy got there, he'll just like cold, completely dead ass serious go to Pantheon and be like, first floor, robot, middle shelf, I need it now.
Yeah.
And then he'll take the robot and he'll lean into it and it'll say, Rising Dawn to Blue Thunder, come in Blue Thunder. And he's calling Freddy.
Oh my God.
Now, just to be clear, is this the first you've talked to him?
Yeah.
Since?
Mm-hmm.
Blue Thunder to... Is it really you?
Yeah, it's me, Freddy. How you doing? You okay? I heard that you got relocated. Everything okay? They treat you good?
Relocated? Yeah, no, we're fine. I mean, we're in a much nicer town now. My parents seem a little annoyed, but they like it here too. That place was kind of, I don't know, was kind of scary. I feel like we moved out in a rush, but I don't really know what's happening. My room is bigger now.
Well, that's good to hear. Sorry about the radio silence, but I've been on a bunch of secret missions, so.
Oh, that's okay. I met your... Hang on. And you hear just like scuffling of footsteps running upstairs, and you hear a door slam. He goes, okay, I'm alone now. I met your friends.
They treat you nice?
Yeah, they were great. I told them about, the not real you, the fake one. Although I saw on TV and I feel really bad. I shouldn't have been mean to him. I just wanted him to be you, but I didn't really think about him, being him.
Don't worry about it, Freddy. I'm sure that he didn't take it personally.
Are you going to come visit?
Well, once my mission is up, I'll definitely be sure to visit. But hey, if anything ever happens, if you feel scared or anything, just call me and I'll be there.
Okay. Well, now that you're back, make sure to check in. Thunder follows lightning.
Dawn follows dusk. And then once we finish that, you guys feel the temperature in the room raise by like 10 degrees, and he'll just punch a wall and just it's like okay.
Pantheon comes over to you and she goes, yeah, I'm with you.
I don't think any of us were expecting that.
All right. I'm never talking to Asher ever again. If I see her again, I'm not going to hurt her, but I am going to be mean.
Do we just leave now?
I mean, ordinarily, you would go and like
Meet and
speak to
greet,
her, but
do
she
it,
doesn't
yeah.
know where this is. The
Yeah.
bunker is secret. So it's kind of up to you guys. You can just leave the way you came. You can stay behind and try to like talk to her or not, or it's completely on you guys now how you deal with this.
What do you want to do, Jeremy?
Well, I think I should probably get somewhere where I can be a lot more flammable. So if you guys want to talk to her, then go ahead, but I should probably get to one of the training grounds.
No, I'll go with you. I don't need to talk to Asteria.
Pantheon goes, well, I'll leave one of me behind just to get the details when the broadcast is going live. Maybe see if I can understand why she did this. I
I'll stay too.
think I understand. Are you sure?
Yeah, why not? I want to know the information.
Okay, well, it's up to you. I appreciate the company. You see her more. She's in 2 now. One of them brings you guys back through the tunnels and the other remains here. She exits the room and she turns back like, do you mean you're going to stay in here? Or do you mean that you're going to like...
I'm in the usual incognito disguise, everything. Blah, blah, blah,
And
blah.
she's
So
in full costume.
I
So
just go, yeah.
as she steps like out into the room, you see that Lopez is trying to like make his way out, and he sees Pantheon, and you see that he like immediately moves to try and go speak to Pantheon. You hear a snap, and the agents of AID here just get in his way. And then she steps out and she goes, the Asher steps out and goes, no questions for Pantheon today, please, Mr. Lopez. And she reaches out to shake his hand, and he just stares at it like in disbelief. And then he does take it, and he and his camera crew are like ushered out. And she looks at you and then at Haramon, who, are you in a disguise that's familiar to her? Like, would she know that you're you?
I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I mean, you can like
She could like
make the inference.
she could assume because she does
dark-skinned
know you.
friend that is surrounding Pantheon, you know, could probably connect those dots, but
She could make the inference just because she already knows you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So she goes, I figured he would be upset. I hope he's all right.
he'll set a couple of things on fire and then he'll be fine. He already checked in with the person he was concerned about.
Well, I hope you understand why. I mean, that wasn't me releasing information just because he told it to me. This was information that was given to me with my new position. This is information I'm supposed to protect, and they put it on my desk like I wasn't going to try and... I meant everything I said. And I genuinely don't think this affects our investigation in any way. I mean, people know that the Johnsons were complicit. That wasn't new information. But if we're going to create a show of trust and a distraction, well, an emptied out, formerly unethical city filled with secrets seems like a good scapegoat to me. So,
I mean, you don't have to explain it to me or justify it to me. Even when things are very much about you, a lot of the time they're also not about you. So seems to be a hard pill to swallow for some of my teammates, but they'll get it. They'll get it.
Pantheon goes, I needed the explanation, honestly. I wasn't going to hit you because you die, but...
Sorry, it's not funny because it's true, but it's also very funny because it's true.
I'm not mad that you said what you said. I'm mad that you didn't tell us.
That's another thing that's been sort of going around with this team. So yeah, I can see where that would be a very fine trigger point.
You said you
Director.
were in control. I mean, preparing us for this would have been helpful. I mean, you know the state he's in. And she goes, I know, I understand. But honestly, there was no time for you to fight me on this, or for him to, for anyone to. Some decisions still have to be made by me. This is my job. Do you understand that? And I am trying to dig some accountability out of a fucking grave left behind by someone who was happy to have none. So this is it. This is Director Asher, for better or worse. And I'm sorry for the families who were not complicit in anything that was going on in that city, having to be relocated suddenly, but they'll be better for it. And at least this way, we can start building some amount of trust with the public again. Okay? Pantheon goes, okay.
You good?
Yeah,
Okay.
she's very convincing.
I know. I mean, that's why I wasn't that worried about it. I would trust, director, that you wouldn't just say things to say them. So it's annoying for sure that you didn't tell any of us. But I understand it completely. Kind of I'm feeling a little deja vu, which is why I'm being so cool about this right now. But I guess let's get down to business. Who the fuck cares about me? So when is this going live?
Well, they're putting it out at 5.
Today. Okay. And is it going to be edited, or is it just going to be different camera? And do you know any of that?
Not particularly, but it's not supposed to be edited.
Well, I guess we'll know if it is or isn't, huh? Because we were here.
Thank you for being here. Knowing you were around did actually make it easier. We're getting closer, I can feel it. We need a little time.
And hey, maybe you revealing that information will pull the focus of the public in a direction to give us that time. So I get it. I understand.
I mean, I'm not kidding when I say that Jeremy and I are very much alike. I see why Decker wanted us to meet so bad. Better late than never. Speaking of which, I do actually need to go back to my office, and you guys probably have some things to deal with. I'll leave you to it.
Always a pleasure. Even when one of us does some whack shit.
Always a pleasure to meet a Jedi. Yeah. All right. And she makes her way out. You guys head back to the bunker and make your way back through the tunnel and out. The rest of you guys, did you just like walk home, or were you just waiting at Pantheon's car?
I mean, there's light rails, there's taxis.
Yeah, you guys could have gotten home any number of ways. So you just bounced.
Yeah, I think so. Jeremy
Okay.
seemed pretty fucked up, so I don't think we would just like wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, Jeremy is like actively like, I need to get the fuck out of here before I go nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So you guys make your way back. Where do we find you? Are you back at the house?
Jeremy said training grounds, right?
I think he's at his favorite, like the bombed out city training yard, and he's just like
Going Super Saiyan.
yeah. There's like a building between him and BB, and just on the other side of it, he's just like made a sun and is just seeing how hot he can get it while just talking to BB very angrily. Not like at BB, but
Yeah.
always venting.
She's listening and just kind of letting you do your thing and not getting too close.
Fucking everyone else is dead. Everyone else. I told her that. I told her that if she releases that, then the only other person left that cares about me could die, and she does this anyway. And after that, the sun pulses up and shit.
Are you doing it like above the city line? Like, can people like in the school see you doing it?
Yeah, people can see.
So
Ruh-roh.
after a few minutes, Backtrack and Solar Flare show up in like workout gear. And Solar
Boys.
Flare stretches and he goes like, and he throws up 2 big puffs of flame. He goes, "Are we training with fireballs today? What's up?"
I'm trying my best to not just light myself on fire right now.
Director Asher of AID pulled some bullshit, and it could have cost Jeremy a lot more than Jeremy's already had to pay.
Backtrack takes that in more and he goes, "I'm sorry. That really sucks. I mean, I guess we're all going to find out in a little while. I can only imagine. So, in the meantime, though, we're here, right? I mean, we're still in school, even if the semester is technically over. We might as well still make good on our time, right?" And Solar Flare comes over to you and he kind of claps you on the back, Jeremy, and he goes, "Hey, you like the classics. You like Shakespeare?"
I guess so.
The sacred text.
Dude, bring it in. All right, look at me right here. You and me, right? All right, look at me. All right. Fire right here. Fire right there. And he like touches your palm. He touches his palm. He goes, "All right, you see what I mean? All right, you and I, we both got hot palms, right? Where 2 raging fires meet together." You ever heard this one? Where 2 raging fires meet together, they do consume the thing that feeds their fury. Look that one up. It's great. It's good stuff. It's awesome. You see where I'm going with this? I'm saying shoot fire with me right now together. Okay?
I think at that he'll just like let the sun just kind of die out and be like, that I guess that's as good a plan as any. We probably shouldn't go over there. I think that I might have melted a couple of buildings.
And as you guys are just sort of casting fire together, trying to vent out this energy as best as you can, you see that Backtrack and Solar Flare are really trying to be there for you. They're trying to just sort of take your mind off it as best as they can. But, that approach is very much like, we're bros, we're hanging out, it'll be okay. So it's up to you if that actually affects Jeremy's mood in any meaningful way.
Kinda. I think he'll kind of separate and just pull BB to the side and says, Hey, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
I didn't think that you'd be as chill as you were, just going off of what I heard back in the PvP, but you're cool.
Oh, it was a rough start at Moonlight Academy, and still we have some rough moments, but everyone here just wants to help each other, and everyone here just wants to be, if not heroes, then as good as they can be at what they do. And I think that is what makes this place special, and it is what binds us all together. And I think it's hard to have ego or be selfish when you have people like this. And she gestures to backtrack and solar flare, like probably dicking around and doing something. People like this, like continuously trying to be in your corner. And I'm always there for you too, obviously.
Well, I hope that I can be in your corner when you need it, because I feel like I've just been taking up a lot of the need for support lately.
You've been here for like 5 minutes, and those 5 minutes, there were a lot of different fires that happened. So you're chilling. BB wouldn't say the phrase chilling. That's fully Eric. You're
Doing all right.
You're doing all
You're
right.
relaxing.
Yeah, you're relaxing. And I'm sure there will be many times in the future for you to save my ass. We're all in this together.
All this together.
Pan over to solar flare juggling fireballs and backtrack, just trying to kick between them and not burn his
Yeah, absolutely.
Pure boy energy.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys is, do you watch the broadcast that evening?
Yabaj.
And where do you do it? Do you do it by yourselves in your own house? Do you go to someone else's house?
I think, sorry, just really quick. I think I would ask Jeremy if he wanted to go back around the time of the broadcast, but if not, I would just stay out with him at the training grounds.
I think that he would say yes, and then he would invite Backtrack and Solar Flare and Poltergeist if you wanted to watch it with us.
Here come the boys.
Okay, so you're at your house, but inviting others over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he'd get like a like one of those like thermal blankets, but like just to keep the heat in, just so he doesn't get too heated.
Hell yeah.
I watch it with Team Prestige.
Mhm.
But I'm live texting with Team Fulcrum.
Pantheon is not around. She's watching it probably with Nova. Pantheon is generally, as you understand it, trying to give you a chance to like do things with each other and your teammates and friends rather than just immediately inserting herself into your lives all the time when you don't ask her to. So like you can watch the broadcast with who you choose to without her interfering.
But that's what moms do. They make your shit their business all the time.
True.
But she's dramatically trying not to be your
I
mom while simultaneously
know.
failing to not be your mom.
Yeah.
So you guys do watch the broadcast and you find it is short of like a little intro and like outro at the end. There is no editing. The footage is entirely what you saw earlier. You just see like, you know, the different camera angles and stuff cut together so you can see everyone.
I think Haramon is choo-choo trained with Monarch and Matryoshka, and Haramon is the caboose and Monarch's in the middle, and they're all Haramon is braiding Monarch's hair as a distraction, almost like something to focus on, and then like Monarch's doing it to Matryoshka because it's fun. And
So you're at their house.
I'm at their house, periodically stopping braiding Monarch's hair to text Fulcrum's team. And they only put down the braid when like the Amberley thing happens.
She goes, I mean, like, at least, I mean, on the one hand, right, everybody saw him have a tantrum on live telly, but he looked good on telly. You know, not everyone has a face for it. So that's a plus, right?
I'm like looking at Teatra, like you know is some crazy shit.
Yeah, he is just fully like Bruce Wayne out, just like,
The gears turning. So yeah.
I think you see Matryoshka as well, like she's like matching the energy of Monarch, being like, and then she sees him doing that, and she's like, interesting. A little more serious, but then you see like she does realize how serious it is, and even Monarch, like as just the sort of strange silence just sort of dominoes through the room, it does hit Monarch last, but it gets there, and she's like, that's really it's bad, isn't it? Well, pretty distinctly not good.
I just send Team Fulcrum a text of like, this is why we weren't telling you anything. Love you guys.
How are things looking back at Pantheon House?
How is Jeremy doing? Seeing like the full thing? Because BB's just was kind of sat next to you and like bracing against you without fully holding your hand or whatever.
Well, he definitely cringes at him, like when he sees that they didn't edit out his reaction to Asher starting to blab about. Yeah, but then he just is taking breaths and just practicing like squeezing and releasing his hands. He's not as mad earlier, but it's still clearly upsetting that all that stuff got out.
How are the boys reacting to it?
Yeah, how are the boys?
So it's specifically Backtrack and Solar Flare?
Backtrack, Solar Flare, Poltergeist.
And Poltergeist.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
If Poltergeist wanted to bring the rest of his team, then the invitation was free, but
yeah, maybe. I think Nim and Baby Loney are probably together somewhere else. Canvas is probably there too. So I think it's just Poltergeist here for this. He's not going to hover brother over knock knock all the time. Poltergeist he's doing Poltergeist thing. Absorption of information and just like consideration. He doesn't say a word. He's just like mentally chewing on it. But Backtrack, he's a little more vocal about his process of detectiving. He's very charisma-based detective. He goes, without the full picture, that could have been really awesome or really stupid what she just did. But regardless, it seems pretty clear that it falls to us now. And he gestures like the school. He goes, even if it's not us, it's us, you know. I mean, this is why we do it. We hope it doesn't get this bad, but we all know it could. And here we are.
man, that's the last time I'm ever speaking good about the government, bro. I tried to throw them some bones, like, oh yeah, Nexus of Valiant, they're all just doing great. You can still trust them. Fucking Asher.
And there's a moment where you hear a whoosh and the door open. After you've been having this conversation, like some minutes have passed. The door opens and Pantheon stands there. You see some of the gang, like specifically Backtrack and Solar Flare, like get up instinctively and they're like, ma'am? And she's like, hey guys, please leave. Sorry. Please leave. I need to talk to my team. And they're like, yep, See you guys. And they head out. Silhouette's like crunching on a chip. She's like, what's wrong? Hermon, please come home.
That's my cue. Okay. I'll catch you guys later. And I run.
You head back over there. It doesn't take long. You're all
No.
in the same space.
It's
Yeah.
Five doors.
But
over.
in that like couple minutes, Pantheon is just like pacing, like annoyed and like unsure.
What's up?
What?
Fortress just got off the phone with Warden Fell.
No.
Constance has agreed to give her testimony
Okay.
against
Okay.
Dr. Fine publicly.
Okay.
On the condition that Team Pantheon meets with her one more time tonight.
Tonight, it's like fucking okay.
She said all of Team Pantheon. And she turns and looks at Jeremy. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.
Oh, you.
Hey, going to see my sister again.
Woo.
My evil
the
murder
fuck?
sister.
Oh,
Dang.
a lot of television.
A lot of television.
yeah.
Television.
A lot of television. I'm sleepy.
Oh yeah,
Me
that
too.
it's
That took so
I'm
much
telling
out of
you,
me.
man. We're in that part of the season now where everything is like, oh, but you know what that
Damn.
means? We are catapulting toward answers and climaxes. That's not going to be the name of this episode, though. I don't think answers and climaxes isn't very catchy. That's-
No.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
It's also a little too double entendre.
Yeah, that's a great way of phrasing that. I was trying to think of how to say that. That's exactly how you
Double
say that.
entendre, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for joining us. I hope you're not emotionally exhausted, unless you're into that sort of thing. We'll see you next time.
Accidentally horny this whole episode.
We'll see you next time. Keep it super. Goodbye.
Bye.